Hey everyone. Today I have a Q&A. I've got a couple of email requests for different topics that I'm going to cover. And if you want to send any questions or any video suggestions, link to my email is in the description. I may not get to you immediately, but I will try to cover as much as I think is valid and I have things to say about. So yeah. Today's first question comes from, who was it? Oh, that was David, right. So David writes, oh, sorry, I'm messing up here. David writes, my question is simple. Whilst pins are now easier to get rid of than ever before, do you think that a game that can now include so many multiple sources of HE, which tends to get multiple pins on a target, will result in development of armies and strategies based on pinning out enemy units rather than killing them, so negating cover saves that people make? I think at least that is a valid consideration. I don't think HE is where it's at. I think we're going to see horde, organized spam lists, what I would call MSU lists in version 2. So multiple small units where you have so many small units and each of them delivers pins that you can actually deliver 10 plus pins to a unit per turn and just pin them out. I think that is easier to do than actually getting HE to outpin units. So I think MSU armies, and because MSU armies really depend on you being able to take quite a lot of teams, which at least for the heavy weapons platoon is very possible. So I think that is a thing that you can and I think will be done for some armies. Next question here. And also, could this be the edition where stationary multi-barreled autocannons rule tables? Yes, it could. If you have too little terrain. Stationary multi-barreled autocannons were always good. I had a friend who played Flak Zwillings in a Luftwaffe theater platoon all through version 2. And those Flak Zwillings, they absolutely trashed even very, very highly competitive armies like my Gurkha Stewart spam build. I've lost games to that Luftwaffe defense force, which was all inexperienced and just had a couple of Flak Zwillings, which is a double heavy autocannon, right? Just sitting there shooting everything that moved towards them. If you have too little terrain, that I think is why Warlord Games have stated that you need more terrain than we are used to. And I think, I've said this before, I think we need 25% plus extra terrain on our tables now. So, and that's just to make the game not bogged down in two gun lines facing each other, shooting at each other, because that might very easily happen. So he's thinking about massed Paulson guns, and they look incredibly good. Yes, they really do. From a points and damage and pin perspective, autocannons are really, really good this edition. Yes. So that was David. Next is John Axe, who has been playing a bold action for a couple of years, following me on YouTube. Thank you. He's not a competitive player, but that you still find anything that I have to say useful, I really enjoy that. Thank you so much. I am a competitive player. I do talk competitive bold action. I view bold action as a game, not as a historical reenactment, which I know a lot of you guys will have a different opinion, which is perfectly fine. We can disagree about what the game is for us, right? For me, it's a game. If you feel differently, good on you. Enjoy the game however you want to. And know that there are different ways of enjoying the game, and they're all equally valid. Now then, Warlord Games delivered the rulebook to John today, and I was given, and I'm playing British Paras with a touch of Waffen-SS. What? Okay, so he has two armies. Okay, that makes sense. I wasn't British Paras fighting with the SS. What? So when he needs to play the baddies. I love that expression, are we the baddies? I've decided that I might go down the USA route. Yes, US have been nerfed slightly in version 3. I know a lot of American players are like, my army doesn't work anymore. I'm not on that boat, but he's torn between Rangers and Marines purely because I know a few in real life. That's not my point. A lot of people build their armies based on something else, right? Like a homage to something. So if you want to do that, lean into that. Both Marines and Rangers, I think, are going to be absolutely playable this version as well. Rangers might have a slight edge all of a sudden, because I think the ability to move up into terrain is going to be key for this version. So they might, you deploy Rangers and then they get a move before the first turn start. That means that the Rangers, if they're deployed and they are out of position, they could get to move away from that, right? If the enemy places an autocannon facing your Rangers because you place them down first, you now get a move where you can move away from that autocannon. I think that is going to be really interesting. Version 2, Marines were definitely where it was at because they had access to all the goodness in equipment. But I think now Rangers are a lot more interesting. And with the new Warlord Games Ranger pack, Ranger starter army, I think, yeah, a lot of people are going to play Rangers. And then there's a question of the MMG special rule, extra selection MMG. You can take up to 3 MMGs as one MMG selection. They're not giving you 2 free units worth of points, right? No, they're not. You still have to pay the points. But if you look in the force organization chart when you open your book, you'll see that for a heavy weapons platoon, you're able to pick a certain number of MMGs. But for Americans, you should replace that every single one MMG with 3. You can buy that many MMGs. So Americans can really, really spam out MMGs in their heavy weapons platoons if they want to. And that's the way you read it. So no, not 6 MMGs for 100 points, but still quite a lot of MMGs, right? If you're buying them regular, 6 MMGs would cost you 300 points. Yeah, so those were the answers for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will basically see you in the next one. Cheers.